Hey, Patriots Nation. We're back with another exclusive update on everything happening in New England. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button so you never miss any breaking Patriots news. The locker room whispers started before anyone dared to speak on camera, and the image that kept circulating in hushed conversations with Jahlani Tavai walking through the corridor with a dark bruise swelling across his face, eyes fixed forward, jaw tight, carrying a silence louder than any press conference. Sources close to the team suggest the linebacker felt something had crossed an invisible line, something about loyalty and respect that every veteran understands without needing a handbook. In this rumor-filled atmosphere, the phrase "he was a coward" began to echo, not shouted, but repeated softly, as if testing how dangerous it sounded. Tavai, known for his physical style and emotional edge, allegedly felt abandoned in a moment that demanded unity. The Patriots' culture has always been wrapped in discipline and internal resolution, yet this moment felt different, heavier, like a crack forming under pressure. Teammates reportedly avoided eye contact, unsure whether the bruise told the whole story or just the visible part. For fans watching from afar, the image sparked questions about leadership, accountability, and whether something deeper was unraveling behind closed doors. As the speculation grew, people began revisiting Tavai's journey, from his college days with the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors to carving out a role in New England through grit rather than hype. Those who know his background describe him as fiercely proud, someone who wears slights on his skin as much as his heart. Rumors claim that whatever sparked the confrontation was not a single comment, but a build-up, weeks of tension that finally boiled over. In this narrative, the hematoma became a symbol, not just of a physical altercation, but of emotional bruises carried by players expected to stay silent. The Patriots' locker room, often portrayed as a machine, suddenly looked human, flawed, and volatile. Insiders suggest voices were raised, lines were crossed, and the usual hierarchy felt blurred. The word "coward," allegedly spoken by Tavai, cut deep because it questioned character, not performance. For an organization built on trust, that accusation alone could fracture relationships. Fans began to wonder if this was an isolated incident or the first sign of a deeper internal struggle. The absence of official explanations only fueled the fire, turning silence into a canvas for imagination. Some speculate that the clash involved not just players, but a broader disagreement about responsibility during critical moments. Tavai, with his face marked and emotions raw, reportedly felt that accountability had been dodged, that someone chose self-preservation over collective sacrifice. In a sport defined by collisions, being labeled a coward is perhaps the ultimate insult. The Patriots' ethos has long celebrated doing your job, no matter the cost, and any hint of deviation feels like betrayal. Rumors suggest that meetings grew tense, with coaches attempting to cool tempers while avoiding public acknowledgement. The bruise, however, was impossible to hide, and every camera angle seemed to linger just long enough to invite speculation. Teammates offered vague support, choosing words carefully as if navigating a minefield. For Tavai, the situation allegedly stirred old frustrations, moments when he felt underestimated or unheard. The idea that this confrontation could reshape dynamics within the defense began to circulate, raising questions about unity, trust, and the psychological toll of a long, grinding season. As the story evolved, fans and analysts alike began to frame the incident as a crossroads. Some believed Tavai's outburst, if true, was less about anger and more about desperation, a plea for authenticity in a system that prizes stoicism. Others argue that internal conflict is inevitable, even healthy, and that this moment could ultimately strengthen the group. Still, the image of a bruised face lingered, a visual reminder that not all damage is strategic. Rumors hinted at private apologies, closed-door conversations, and attempts to reset the emotional temperature. Yet skepticism remained. Could trust be fully restored after such a public hint of discord? The Patriots have weathered storms before, but this felt personal, raw, and unresolved. For Tavai, whose career has been defined by perseverance, this moment might mark a turning point, either solidifying his voice within the locker room or isolating him further. Fans, left to piece together fragments, debated whether this was a simple misunderstanding or a sign of deeper fractures. In the absence of clarity, speculation became the dominant narrative, filling the silence with stories, theories, and uneasy anticipation. In the second wave of rumors, attention shifted to how leadership responded behind the scenes and whether the culture that once defined the Patriots was being tested by a new generation of voices. Some insiders suggest that the confrontation forced uncomfortable conversations about hierarchy, respect, and the evolving identity of the team. Tavai's alleged words, sharp and unforgiving, were seen by some as reckless, by others as courageous. The bruise on his face became a rallying image for those who believe honesty sometimes comes at a physical cost. Whispers describe veterans pulling him aside, urging restraint, reminding him of the bigger picture. Yet there is also talk that younger players quietly admired his willingness to speak out. In this speculative narrative, the locker room becomes a battleground of ideals, tradition versus expression. The Patriots, long associated with control, suddenly appeared vulnerable to emotion. Fans began to sense that this was not just about one incident, but about a shifting balance within the team. Tavai's role, once clearly defined, now seemed fluid, influenced as much by personality as by performance. The question lingered whether this moment would fade or leave a lasting imprint. As days passed without resolution, the rumor mill painted scenarios ranging from reconciliation to lasting resentment. Some believe the hematoma resulted from a heated practice incident. Others insist it was an off-field disagreement that spilled into physicality. Each version carried its own implications, yet all pointed to the same conclusion. Something had gone wrong internally. Tavai's silence, broken only by intense looks and guarded comments, added to the mystique. Observers noted his body language, reading tension in every movement. The Patriots organization, known for controlling narratives, seemed unusually reserved, allowing speculation to run wild. For fans, this uncertainty was unsettling. The idea that a respected linebacker felt compelled to label someone a coward suggested a breach of core values. Analysts debated whether this could impact chemistry, focus, or long-term cohesion. The bruise, slowly fading, remained etched in memory, a reminder that even disciplined environments are not immune to conflict. In this telling, the incident becomes a cautionary tale about pressure, pride, and the human cost of competition. The narrative also touched on family, with subtle references to Tavai's roots and the brothers who shaped his competitive fire. Those close to him suggest that loyalty is not negotiable in his world, and any perceived betrayal cuts deeply. This perspective adds emotional weight to the rumors, framing his reaction as instinctive rather than calculated. The Patriots' locker room, filled with diverse backgrounds and personalities, suddenly felt like a fragile ecosystem. Rumors hinted at mediators stepping in, voices of reason attempting to reframe the conflict as a learning moment. Yet skepticism persisted. Could words like coward ever truly be forgotten? Fans speculated about future interactions, wondering if tension would resurface at the slightest provocation. The organization's silence, while strategic, allowed imaginations to fill the gaps with dramatic possibilities. For Tavai, this chapter might redefine how he is perceived, either as a disruptor or as a truth-teller. In the absence of facts, the story lived on as speculation, fueled by images, whispers, and the enduring intrigue of unseen battles. Ultimately, this rumored crisis within the Patriots reflects a broader truth about competitive sports, where intensity can blur lines between passion and conflict. The image of Jahlani Tavai with a bruised face became more than a snapshot. It transformed into a symbol of unresolved tension and unanswered questions. Fans continue to debate what really happened, projecting hopes and fears onto incomplete information. Some believe the team will emerge stronger, forged by confrontation. Others worry that cracks, once revealed, are impossible to fully conceal. In this speculative telling, there are no villains or heroes, only individuals navigating pressure in different ways. Tavai's alleged explosion, raw and unfiltered, challenges the myth of perfect harmony. The Patriots, long admired for control, are shown as human, susceptible to emotion and error. Whether this moment fades into rumor or becomes a defining memory remains uncertain. What is clear is that silence, bruises, and whispered accusations have created a narrative that refuses to disappear, leaving fans waiting for clarity that may never fully arrive. Sources also hint that if Maye does leave, the timing and manner of his exit will be crucial, shaping not only the Patriots' immediate strategies, but also the broader dynamics of the NFL. Rumors suggest that teams are preparing to act quickly, leveraging every opportunity to negotiate favorable terms and secure a competitive advantage. Within the Patriots, internal planning reportedly includes scenario modeling, player readiness assessments, and communication strategies designed to maintain cohesion and morale in the face of uncertainty. Analysts note that the psychological dimension of speculation is particularly significant as it affects player confidence, practice intensity, and in-game decision-making. Fans, for their part, continue to dissect every rumor, seeking clues and projecting potential futures, reflecting the cultural impact of such high-profile uncertainty. In sum, the unfolding situation around Drake Lee may represent a convergence of talent, ambition, strategy, and rumor, creating a narrative that captivates, intrigues, and unsettles at every level. Every development, whether minor or significant, adds layers to a story that extends far beyond standard sports reporting, emphasizing the unpredictable, high-stakes drama inherent in professional football. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Your support helps us bring you the latest updates on the New England Patriots. And of course, drop your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from Patriots fans. Finally, speculation continues to dominate conversations about Maye's future as insiders, analysts, and fans alike attempt to anticipate the next move. Reports indicate that the quarterback's potential exit could redefine the Patriots' strategic direction, impacting roster decisions, coaching philosophies, and even broader league dynamics. Rumors suggest that teams across the NFL are positioning themselves in response, evaluating how a single departure might create openings for major trades, draft adjustments, or long-term planning shifts. Within the Patriots, whispers suggest a delicate balancing act, maintaining competitive performance while preparing for significant change. Analysts argue that such situations underscore the complex interplay between player ambition, management strategy, and fan expectation, highlighting how speculation can influence decisions and outcomes in ways that sometimes rival the drama on the field. Fans continue to engage passionately, dissecting every report, analyzing every gesture, and imagining scenarios that range from optimistic to catastrophic. In essence, the narrative surrounding Drake Lee Maye has evolved into a high-stakes story of uncertainty, possibility, and strategy, illustrating the multifaceted drama that defines professional football at its most intense and captivating levels. Reports suggest that negotiations surrounding Maye are extraordinarily delicate, involving multiple stakeholders, financial considerations, and long-term career planning. Insiders hint that the quarterback is leveraging his market value, exploring opportunities that could maximize both personal growth and team impact. Analysts speculate that the interplay of loyalty, ambition, and strategic positioning is central to the situation, with every move closely observed by competitors and commentators alike. The potential ripple effects are extensive, affecting not only draft choices and trade possibilities, but also coaching strategies, fan expectations, and the overall culture of the Patriots organization. Observers point out that the rumor-driven tension itself is shaping the narrative, as speculative coverage amplifies every hint, gesture, and comment, creating an atmosphere where perception may be as influential as reality. Fans are reacting with a mixture of anxiety and hope, reflecting the emotional investment that comes with the prospect of losing a player of Maye's caliber. In this scenario, speculation becomes a catalyst for broader discussions, influencing both public perception and internal decision-making, demonstrating how a single player's potential move can reverberate across the league. Finally, the cultural and emotional impact of this rumored acquisition cannot be overstated. Patriots fans, already passionate and vocal, are projecting visions of redemption, innovation, and championship aspirations onto the possible arrival of Jordan Love, transforming the rumor into a collective narrative of hope, anticipation, and speculation. Analysts suggest that the psychological dimension, how the team, the fans, and the league perceive this move, could influence performance, media coverage, and fan engagement, creating a feedback loop that magnifies the significance of every practice, game, and highlight reel. Rival teams are reportedly taking note, recalculating strategies and potential outcomes, while sports media outlets are generating endless debate over what this acquisition could mean for the competitive landscape. Whether the rumors are ultimately true or not, the very conversation around Jordan Love and the Patriots has reignited excitement, speculation, and storytelling in ways that few off-season moves have achieved in recent memory. The narrative is rich, multifaceted, and evolving, offering fans and analysts alike a continuous stream of what-ifs that fuel discussion, debate, and the thrill of imagining an entirely new chapter in one of the NFL's most storied franchises. That's it for today's update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving fresh and exclusive Patriots news, make sure to subscribe and hit like. We always appreciate hearing your opinions in the comments. See you in the next one, Patriots Nation.